A new Substack article. Hooray! The question underneath everything is not how do we stop losing so much, because that organizes us around defense. The question is what deserves to exist in greater abundance, because that organizes us around creation, around waking up to ask what forest could expand, and what species could return, and what children could be reached, and what neighborhoods could be transformed. And that is the civilization I am describing. Human beings are builders, and the current economy suppresses that by rewarding spectators. That is why your feed feels heavy, because there's a post going around that says, I am selectively nice to you, and you're not selected. And on a power versus force map, that is pure force, and Jung would call it the shadow delivering a press release, while a person who most wants to be selected builds an architecture broadcasting that selection is unavailable, and Tully would call it the pain body being fed, and the platform feeds it because negativity registers as engagement the way a casino registers a pull. The fix is simple. Engineering. Give every post a nutrition label that rates where it lands vibrationally, and give creators a pre-publication layer that says, here is where this will be suppressed, and here is a higher frequency refrain if you want it, which is transparency instead of harvesting, and keep free speech while structurally stopping verbal abuse at scale and racism that gains algorithmic traction. Apply the builder logic to the planet by running all the restoration games simultaneously, which means the Great Green Wall gets its leaderboard, and so does cleaning the oceans, and so does amending the soils on every continent with biochar and cover crops, and so does scaling desalination, and so does cleaning urban air, and so does removing kudzu smothering the south, and so does restoring the Everglades and kelp forests and coral reefs, because choosing one hero project is the compression error that kills momentum. Name kelp because it grows 2 feet per day and rebuilds fisheries while sequestering carbon, and name Asparagopsis because feeding that red seaweed to cattle at 0.5% cuts methane by over 80% and should be mandated globally, and trees cool cities by several degrees, as European research has confirmed, which is why we need the Google Earth interface where you find a patch and watch it green, built like The Sims meets real verification. Architecture is a declaration, so build 500 versions of the Taj Mahal and Alhambra everywhere in full color. Put amusement parks in every neighborhood and art trails along every river, and treat housing built beautifully and universal healthcare and the internet and music the same as infrastructure, because the floor is safety and the operating system is joy. I am a 2-year-old whisper. Children learn by loading and dumping and sorting, and they will eat the gravel. And the Glenn-Doman method works because 5-second exposures delivered with joy, respect, real neuroplasticity, and 10-minute intervals work because brains sustain attention that long. And the suicide epidemic is infrastructure failure, not individual pathology. And we need a global body run by activists and educators whose baseline is keeping everyone alive, because wonder is not a luxury, it is nutrition. And maximalism is the only honest position, which means more restoration celebrated like championships and more beauty built everywhere, because Earth should get richer every year.